Another video for myself. Told myself I wasn't going to film one for the whole month, but just kind of wanted to check in with myself. Yeah, they make me feel a bit better, so I like rewatching these. This one isn't really one for like future or anything, or to come back to, just more so for me to watch for myself. I feel like that's important. I'm feeling good. I'm taking the correct steps in order to secure my future a little bit. Curated a new CV, sent that off. You've got a mini interview, I guess, of sorts for a marketing role tomorrow. See how that goes. That's exciting. Finally kind of understanding that, yeah, you know what you want to do with your life, but you understand that to get to that position, you kind of have to do a little bit of, side questing in the meantime. So you found something that you're good at. You're good at this marketing thing. You're good in these kind of social environments. So why wouldn't you be getting paid for that? So let's try it. Let's try at least. Money wise, yeah, you're taking the correct steps to kind of get a bit more comfortable. You're still treating yourself. I don't know if you can ever say you're treating yourself too much, because you kind of have this like thought at the moment where it's like, if I was to die tomorrow, you'd have all this money, not that it's a lot, but you'd have all that money that you didn't do anything with. So, but maybe you need to like reel that in a bit. I'm not too sure. We'll see how we are in the future. I think last video you said you mentioned like dates and stuff. Those two people you're supposed to go on dates with, you're glad you didn't. Yeah, one was far too immature and far too performative. The other one was too horny, and you're not a hookup person. Never will be. You're still speaking to the other one, but I guess that's like a bit more fun, I guess. You have another date lined up with another person. Yeah. You're not having any like weird gut feelings that you've had with others so far. That could just be like, because it's fairly early on. You are generally excited to get to know them. Yeah. We shall see. You have a few of like your own qualms regarding it, but it's kind of like, you're getting carried away in the thought of like dating someone. So you don't really need to be thinking about that stuff, it comes naturally. You're not losing anything, you're only ever gaming. Today, had a few Aperol spritzes in the sun. Love an Aperol in the sun. Got nice, a little bit tipsy. Then you went out with your friend, but they were with people that maybe you're not the most aligned with, so you kind of had to be a king code switcher, which is a little draining, and you're like, oh, bit grim. Feeling like myself, like I guess like breakup wise, actually, I haven't spoke about that. You're starting to miss like all of the good things, I guess, and like you kind of keep like falling into that pit of, oh, that was so nice and like so comfortable and everything. Actually, yeah, I think it would feel good for me to speak about it. Yeah, like you are kind of missing that, waking up in the morning and having that kiss and that smothering, and you do kind of miss like that smell of, well, it's not, it's like weird little things, right? The smell of the morning breath, or the family gatherings. you know, you kind of miss the peace of that, the comfortability of that, the reassurance of that. Kind of miss that a bit. Obviously miss like some kind of like superficial things about the person as well. But you know, that's natural when you're with someone for almost 5 years, bruh. So don't get too hooked up on that. I think it's good to kind of rethink about like happy memories. Because, you know, why would you look at the whole thing as like this horrible, oh, you don't have that anymore, rather than I'm glad I got to experience those kind of happy feelings. Because, you know, some people, they live their whole lives and they never get to feel those kind of things. So, you know, I'm fairly privileged in that field, in that area. You know, I've got to experience those things, and whether or not I ever experience them again, the fact that I have got to, I should appreciate. You should appreciate. We should appreciate. But then, that all being said, you know, you need to remind yourself that, look, it was never going to work. It was like, when you're generally thinking about it, how was that relationship going to work? You know, the comfortability that brought, in the sense of like, this individual was a very like strong hard worker, and you know, that kind of future was thought out for them, that they've thought their future, and being with that kind of makes you feel a bit more comfortable. But again, if you're with that, you would never really think about yourself in that sense, and you would never push yourself and do things that you never thought you could, you know. So it wouldn't have worked in that respect. It wouldn't have worked in the chemistry respect, because looking back on it now, unfortunately, there was no chemistry in that whole relationship. And this is why, you know, you felt the constant need for reassurance. There was no chemistry, and that's not going to change. If you were to get back with them, not that that's probably ever going to happen, not that is ever going to happen, that's not going to change. Chemistry doesn't just, you know, come out of nowhere, unfortunately. Chemistry is something that is like an inherent relationship, you know, that gels two people, that enables them to get to know each other deeper. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that'll change. Oh, I don't know about chemistry. That's what I'm thinking right now. But yeah, there just wasn't any of that. Like, obviously you were extremely attracted to this person, and you know, that wherever that, however deep that ran, and obviously that person was, you know, at least physically attracted to you to some degree. Yeah, just never would have worked. Never would have worked. It had to end when it did. Again, you're realizing it couldn't have actually happened at a more perfect time, because you're in your space where you get to heal, and you're in an environment where you listening to yourself and thriving off yourself will teach you things and enable you to do things that you never would have thought that you could have done. But yeah, but again, you do still like kind of miss that version of you a little bit, which again is normal. Again, 5 years, completely normal, Carl. Yeah, just kind of like in these moments, like me saying this right now makes me feel so much better. I wish that I would kind of like have this on loop in my head all the time. You're still pretty. You're going through a bit of a chubby phase right now, but that's because you're snacking like crazy. Stop snacking. And obviously, like you've got the beards, like that'll go soon. Just no need for it to be gone right now. Your eyes are still pretty. Nose still pretty. Hair's a bit messed up right now. Barber did it bad. Friends all still good. Still got things to look forward to. Yeah, not really too much else to say. Just keep running this road. Could be a mile long, could be 500 miles long. Keep running the road like Forrest Gump. Actually, let's see how long we can go for. Yeah, let's do longer than 10 minutes. Let's be crazy. Yeah, like just keep running this road. If you keep doing this, you're gonna go places that you have no idea that you could reach. I have a strong feeling of that, definitely. Keep reaching out. Keep doing what you want. Maybe moving forwards, like maybe do be a bit mindful of people a bit more. Because again, as much as you're living your life, they're living theirs as well. And, you know, you're a person who thrives off kind of like social things. So kind of find a few more places where you're able to be yourself and you don't feel the need to like code switch like crazy. I keep using that word so much, but you know, you find more spaces where you're able to let your guard down and be more you. Because you know, in your free time, you're like that. But I think if you're going to be in more social environments, it's really important that you kind of start to integrate that rawness into those situations and environments and atmospheres. I think that's quite important for now. So yeah, just have that in mind for upcoming things. I think this month might be a bit tougher because you kind of have that thought dwelling over your head of, you know, oh, when are they going to reach out? When are they going to, you know, ask for that meetup? And I think best thing to do in this scenario is just to keep operating on you. Of course, it's going to be on your mind. But just keep, you know, kind of doing you. You can't control the situation. You don't need to reach out to this person at all. It will happen. If it needs to happen, remember the saying, "Vona pokdara," the wind will carry us, carry me. Yeah. So what will be will be. What is meant to be will be. Yeah, give yourself a bit more grace. You know, you deserve it. Do you actually? I don't know. I can't. You know, we don't deserve anything, so I can't really say you deserve it. Yeah, but do give yourself a bit more grace. It's needed in order for you to, you know, heal properly and heal efficiently, effectively. You know these things. I guess I'm just saying it because it feels better to like say it out loud, and you don't really get to talk like this to, you know, friends or anything. And it's not even like, oh, I don't get to talk like this with friends or family or whatever. But it's like I don't want to talk to friends and family like this. I find it. I've tried it, and I have my therapy. But this is so much more meaningful to me. So much more meaningful. There's also like another little part of you that maybe we can explore. That I don't know where this comes from, and I have no like I can't like realize anything right now. But you have like this strong desire of like, I want that person to want me. I want them to want to reach out to me. I want them to be. I don't want them to be hurting, but I want them to be feeling the same that I am. I don't really know why that is. I can't. I need to like think about that, and maybe I'll talk about it in the next video. But yeah, I can't. Maybe it's because like I don't want to feel alone. Anyway, we'll revisit that in the next one. I think 15 minutes is pushing it now. Words of affirmation. And we already did that, but yeah, we're just excited for a lot. You're excited for a lot. I'm excited for a lot. And I think everything's gonna be okay. I think it's all gonna work out. You know, you're doing things one at a time, you're learning to do that, which is new, because you know you're such a character to think of everything at once, be like, oh, I've got so much to do, so much to, you know, on my mind, that you kind of get overwhelmed and then don't do anything about it. So I think you are really starting to hone in on being like, okay, let's focus on one thing, let's get this sorted, and then we can kind of start to plan how we're going to sort out everything else. Here comes. So yeah. Okay, Kaya. I'll leave on one question. Obviously, you make these videos for you, but you low-key want people to see it. And I think I want that for multiple reasons. I want that for a selfish reason of, I want that attention, I guess. You know, I want someone to see this and I want that kind of attention of, oh, look at them, I guess. I don't know. It's the inherent attention seeker in me, I guess. I guess it's selfless, the word. Anyway, the other reason why is I generally hope, not that I think it's gonna, but I hope, like, if another person was watching this, like, would this help them? Or would this, you know, inspire them to do this as well? Would this, you know, get them to make themselves a video just talking to themselves? It seems a bit crazy, a bit weird. But I hope to make people realise that in whichever way is possible, I guess. You know, sometimes I think it's good. I think also, maybe this is more selfish, I think, not to be morbid, but you know, if anything was to happen to me, I think this would be consoling for my friends, my family, to be able to watch and to be able to see that, you know, I was a person who wanted to heal and wanted to be better, and I was a person who was excited for things, and I was a person who hurt, I was a person who laughed. Obviously everyone is, but you know, I think, yeah, if like roles were reversed, I think I would enjoy watching this of someone that I loved and something had happened to them. You know, I think it'd be consoling and reassuring of their character, and I would enjoy getting to see them in like a raw form. So I think that's like another reason why I make them, is I guess like a fail safe, just in case. Just in case. Because who knows? My body has been feeling funny recently. Anyway, that's it. Love you lots, Kyle. Love you more than probably anything in the world. Let's try to keep it that way, yeah. Deal? Pinky promise? Probably doesn't work.